This is the Scoop Slam Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Scoop Slam Podcast. It's WrestleMania week. We're finally here. WrestleMania is in 2 days from the date of recording, and we are gearing up for it. But before we get there, we've got to get through Raw, and that's what this episode's about. So today we're going to be going over Raw. We're going to be giving our predictions for WrestleMania. The pollen count is high. I sound really stuffed up, but here to lead me through it all, my co-host, it's Ryan.
Yo, the go-home edition of Monday Night Raw. Bro, is this our first WrestleMania we're podcasting? Of course, it's our first WrestleMania podcasting.
It is, and it's going to be a week, I'll say that. Oh, boy.
What a whole year in wrestling can make, man. 12 months ago.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the card looking like this?
I can see the Cody thing.
Really?
But
Well,
yeah.
You wanted it to be a work.
Well, are you talking about after Mania, or are you talking about
Before?
like before? Oh, okay. No, then I couldn't have seen the Cody thing because I didn't think it was real. Geez, the whole Vince McMahon thing since last year is insane too. Theory and Cena, I think, makes sense.
Yeah, I saw that, but didn't Omos face Bobby last year, or was that at another pay-per-view? I forget.
I can look it up.
Yeah,
but
do that.
Okay.
I thought that was last year.
It may have been. I know they had a feud, and I remember it being kind of confusing, but because I know I didn't want Bobby to be heel, or I wanted Bobby to be with MVP, and I didn't like that. I don't know, they kind of switched that around. So let's see here. Last year's WrestleMania. Yes, Bobby Lashley and Omos were feuding. That's bad that we don't know that.
I forgot all about that. Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, let's see.
So MVP's been with Omos for a whole year and they've done nothing?
Omos really hasn't. What has he done all year?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they've done anything. He hasn't had any matches on any PLEs since that, right? Maybe one.
That I can remember.
Maybe one in Saudi Arabia, but that's it. Now he's on WrestleMania. Wow.
Let's see. He was in the Money in the Bank ladder match.
I don't remember what he did there. What did he do? Oh yeah, they took him out. Never mind.
Yeah, he got thrown through the announce table by all the competitors.
Okay, well, that was his last pay-per-view.
Oh, and Hell in the Cell, which the Money in the Bank was after, but almost an MVP lost to Lashley in a handicap match. But other than that,
nothing.
Yeah, and he fought Strowman at Crown Jewel.
Well, I was right about that.
Well, you know those Saudis, they love their giants. Anyways, so the resurrection of Sami Zayn from last year's WrestleMania is pretty insane, considering he probably should be in the main event of night one this year, and last year he was wrestling Johnny Knoxville of all people.
Hey, you say what you want, man, but that was a big deal. Like I remember my dad texting me while I was watching WrestleMania, commenting on this match of Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. And my dad does not text me about wrestling, ever. I only think he watches the product. But he texted me about this. He was watching that live.
I never watched that match. I couldn't bring myself to do it because I knew I would hate it.
I don't think you will, man. I don't think you will. I enjoyed it for what it was, and it did a lot of good for Sammy in the long run for getting that big rub with Johnny Knoxville.
That was maybe that was one of Vince's like, do me a favor and I'll reward you. I don't know. Logan Paul is back from last year, so I guess that's not. Ray and Dom's story.
Yeah.
What were they doing at last year's WrestleMania?
Tag match, I believe. Let's
See.
Is it a fatal 4-way tag?
I don't believe they were on the card.
Jeez.
No. That was the Miz and Logan Paul.
Oh yeah.
Beat Ray and Dom.
Oh okay. Dang, we forgot all about that too.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I was thinking the other day on one of my drives. I was driving like an hour, so you get in deep thoughts when you drive very long distances.
Yeah, like the shower.
Like shower thought. Yeah, I had a shower thought in the car, man. Rey Mysterio hasn't had a singles one-on-one match since WrestleMania 27.
Are you for real?
Bro, I'm dead serious. His last singles match was against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 27.
What?
Yes.
Who?
Crazy.
Well, I know he left for a couple of years, but what has he been doing the past couple of years?
9 singles matches, tag matches, battle royals. He hasn't been in a singles match.
Not that I don't believe you, but I'm gonna run this down because I just don't understand what he was doing. So for WrestleMania 37, I don't think he was on the card.
37 was the year they came back to the crowds, right?
Yes.
In the rain, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because Samoa Joe. He wasn't on that card. The 36...
That was the pandemic and the PC.
Was he there? Oh my God. Otis versus Dolph Ziggler?
Yeah.
Was a WrestleMania match?
Bro,
Why was Sonya Deville managing Dolph?
It was a really, really big storyline. I'll give that some credit. They built up this storyline, and Otis was the hottest thing on the show for a little while. He was having like a love triangle with Mandy, Dolph, and Otis. And it was really good, man. It was building up to that moment where Otis finally gets the girl. And then there was no crowd to react to it. It was kind of sad.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Hold on. Big Show?
Yeah.
Main evented?
Yeah. Oh, but it's a caveat though. It's a caveat, Micah. So at the time, the Big Show, the Big Show, yeah, that was on Netflix. So they were going all out with Big Show stuff all over the show to publicize the show debuting, and Drew McIntyre beat Brock on the actual card. However, on the next night on Raw, they said, well, there was some shenanigans last night on the aftermath of the main event of WrestleMania, and let's go back and show you the footage. And they didn't actually show it on the night of, but they showed it the night after. And it was Big Show versus Drew McIntyre. Big Show came out to challenge Drew as his first opponent.
Oh boy, that was a stinker.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay.
You know.
Bro, okay, that was during the pandemic. Hardly anybody could show up to the PC during that point. So they had to pick whoever was available in the Tampa, Orlando, Florida area to show up. So some of the matches are going to look wonky, man. I ain't going to lie to you.
No. I'm on the year before that.
Oh.
You know, I dogged you for this being 2 nights last year, but this was a 16 match card.
Yeah. You talking about
Colin Jost was in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale?
Yeah. And and his partner on the, what was it, the weekend something?
Weekend Update.
Yeah, Weekend Update.
What is his partner's name? Because it bothered man, we're like all over the place right now.
Colin something?
No, that's the white guy.
Oh, Michael Che.
Colin Jost.
Michael Che.
Michael Che, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that happened. Bro, that show was legit
Okay.
almost 7 hours. Probably 8 hours, including the pre-show. Like, they jam-packed them shows.
Yeah, there's 16 matches, 4 dark matches, and one of which is Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder defeated the Revival. So,
That was Kurt
yeah,
Hawkins.
take that FTR if you want to go back.
That was Kurt Hawkins' first win on the main roster since he got back. And he was a enhancement talent for like 3 years when he came back. And his first win was at WrestleMania with Zack Ryder.
Yeah, didn't they do some big angle where
they won a battle royal, so he technically didn't win, but
yeah,
number one contender. And his first win was I think a roll up with Scott Dawson or Dax, I guess. That's Scott Dawson, right? Say yeah, okay. He won with a roll up, and then it was a big deal because it was in the New York area, and those guys are both New Yorkers, so they got the win the tag titles in front of the family. So you know. Anyway, Monday Night Raw.
Well, to circle back to close up this point, you're wrong.
What?
Samoa Joe defeated Rey Mysterio by technical submission.
Oh my God, that was in like 30 seconds. I forgot all about that.
Yep, at WrestleMania 35.
Oh Lord. Can you count
See,
that?
there was a point to that.
Can you count that? That was like 30 seconds.
I mean, it is still technically a match, a singles match.
So Mr. McMahon is beat. He beat hey, who did Pat McAfee? He beat him last year, Micah. We counting that?
He did.
Oh God,
he did.
Come on.
Just like Nicholas and Braun Strowman are tag team champions.
Nicholas was robbed. He never got pinned. They made him forfeit titles.
Anyway, Monday Night Raw. Raw is recaps, and Raw is Mania. I did not have high thoughts of this show after, and I know we're gonna disagree, and probably about this first segment. So to open up Raw of WrestleMania week, the host of WrestleMania, The Miz, with his talk show, because everybody's got to have a talk show these days. However, I will say The Miz has been doing it for a long time. Miz TV, and his guests were Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, and Lita. And you know where this is going. They eventually get interrupted, and it is by Damage Control. That then, what's the word I'm looking for? Dissolves into Becky Lynch versus Io Sky. So, to start us off, Mr. Ryan, I'll let you go ahead because I don't have any scoops for this segment.
Dang.
Miz TV.
Wow. You didn't have any?
Mm-mm.
Bro, I didn't think, like, Becky did a pretty good job cutting a promo here. She fired up on Bayley. She kind of hit her with a bunch of truth as well. She said, "You ain't done nothing since you got back." You didn't like that, man?
I'll counter one of my slams. You want to joke and jest about Darby having asthma? Did you hear Becky Lynch here?
Oh, yeah. I've been hearing it for 4 or 5 years now since she became the man. She always done that.
Well, that don't make it good.
I guess I got
you can't call out Darby for it and not call out her.
It wasn't as jarring as Darby. Darby's was loud.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Her fired up promo did not inspire me, nor did it make me more invested for this match. I don't know how to explain it. I want to like Becky, but Big Time Bex was better than this iteration of the man. I can't speak for the first iteration, but I don't know. Big Time Bex seemed way better to me than this.
I don't think it worked, though, because the crowd was so behind her when she was Big Time Bex. And she was trying to be a heel, but nobody wanted to boo Becky, so they had to turn her.
I mean, yeah, but they didn't have to turn her to the man again.
People like the man. I know I don't like the man, but people like the man. She gets a lot of cheers. She got she got the best reaction out of everybody in this segment.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's not saying a whole
Bro,
lot.
there's Hall of
Lita,
Famers in this segment. Come on, there's Lita and Trish.
okay, but come on now. Lita and Trish, no disrespect, they're Hall of Famers, and back in their day,
Come on now.
they were
Don't do that.
no, they were good wrestlers.
No.
Were they good promos?
I would argue the opposite. They weren't good wrestlers, but they were better promos.
What? I cannot remember a Lita promo.
Lita wasn't no slouch on the mic. She could cut a good promo. Trish was too. Trish was good on the mic. Bro, did you really like Trish and Lita's matches?
I thought they were pretty good.
Really?
Yeah. The old moonsault.
Okay. And?
Well, it's been a while since I've seen them.
I like a certain type of matches they used to have, but we can't see those now in 2023, man. So I don't know. I think where was I going with this, Mike? Becky got the loudest reaction out of everybody. Hall of Famers included in this segment.
All right, you got any other scoops, or is that all?
I thought Io looked all right in this in the match they had. I thought it was an okay match. Probably the best women's TV match I've seen in a while. You didn't watch it.
Well, yeah. Look, man, there is okay. Let me do some math.
Yeah.
There is 3 hours on Monday. There is 2 hours on Raw or on Wednesday. There is 2 hours plus an additional hour for the Hall of Fame on Friday.
Oh.
Then there is a collective probably 10 hours between Saturday and Sunday.
So you not watching Io Sky and Becky Lynch is just you conserving energy for watching WrestleMania? Is that your excuse, Micah?
I wrote down, this is a long week with a lot of wrestling. I ain't reading all that.
Man, Io Sky's good in the ring. You missed out.
I don't doubt it.
She's good.
And on a normal week, I would have been down to watch this.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Just not this week.
just not this week. Too much going on.
All right. Did you have any slams?
Oh, I got 2.
Go ahead.
I hate the cringe dialogue to make fun of The Miz about his balls. I'm going to mention it because they mentioned it.
Hey.
It's not funny.
So I got that as a scoop. I thought it was funny.
Come on.
I did.
You just like The Miz.
I just didn't want to say it. But yeah, I did have that as a scoop. I do like The Miz, yeah. But the crowd reacted when he talked about his balls, man. Come on. Let's be fair.
Are we 8?
Most of the crowd is, yeah.
Well, you got me there. That don't mean I have to like it. This isn't really a slam, but I just wrote it down when I wrote this. I don't mean this disrespectfully.
No.
Has Becky always been that wall-eyed?
What do you mean? Describe that to me. What do you mean?
Like her left eye is like not. She's got Shawn Michaels syndrome.
Oh, lazy eye?
Yeah, but I don't know. It's a little past the point of lazy. I think it's like depressed and drawing unemployment.
I never noticed. I'll look for it next time.
Dude, well, I didn't notice it until my wife was watching it with me, and she was like, ooh, my wife works at an eye doctor, so she was like, ooh, she needs Prism, which is the thing they do to correct lazy eye. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And she was like, her lazy eye is horrible. And I was like, huh? And then I looked, and now I can't unsee it. And just go look up a picture of Becky Lynch real quick, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
I never I never noticed.
I mean, I don't. I'm not trying to. I also have lazy eyes, and so coming from one person played with
Now I
it,
see it. I see it. Yeah,
that's
it's there.
it's there.
Yeah. Oh Lord,
It's not quite Shawn Michaels level,
it's close. Jeez.
give it a couple years, it'll keep dropping.
Well, didn't
And
didn't Kane do that
oh,
to
go ahead.
Shawn?
Yeah, I think he hit him with a big boot.
I wonder who big booted Becky Lynch.
Well, in my findings, apparently, I was gonna see if you knew more about this. So because I don't know if this is
Oh, you got research.
the
You did a term paper on
no
this, man?
well well it was due last night. Um, so a couple years ago,
Oh man. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I think I know where you're going with this, but go ahead.
yeah, a couple years ago, she like got hit really bad in the left side of her face and it blurred her vision and she had headaches and she had some like nerve injury or whatever and she almost quit wrestling or she did quit wrestling for like 7 years, but this was I think like early on the British independent scene.
I was like the early 2000s
And
when she trained with Finn.
yeah, and she didn't return to the ring until 2013 when some of her old friends convinced her to try out for WWE.
Yeah, she came a long way from there.
So, yeah, this was 2006, it says, if that is why she has it. So,
Possibility.
random side note.
Now you
You got anything else for this one?
no, not at all. Just it was a good TV match for the ladies, and you missed out, man.
I really don't think I did. Speaking of the ladies, the Asuka package followed,
Oh, okay.
and
I like this.
she basically, well, she was in it, but she wasn't she wasn't speaking for herself. They basically went over her career a little bit before WWE, but mainly since she joined WWE and NXT and in, the main roster and all of her accomplishments and everything. I thought, honestly, this is my scoop, so I'll go ahead and start us. This was the best thing they've done for the whole feud.
Yeah.
They didn't even have to be on TV.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. They went over a lot of her NXT stuff that they never have mentioned on the main roster, so it was a nice little callback to, because she was a beast in NXT, Micah. She never lost in NXT. Even when she left to go to the main roster, she had the title. She vacated the title. They did not beat her. And then she remained undefeated on the main roster until that no good, dirty Charlotte Flair beat her at WrestleMania with no outside interference or no chicanery. Charlotte beat Asuka because that's what she needed at the time. Her 12th world title reign. She needed to beat undefeated Asuka in one of the marquee matches in WrestleMania. That's what she needed at the time, Micah. But I digress.
That's my queen.
Jesus. Get her up out of here. Send her home.
See, that was my slam because
Really?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that Asuka was not defeated for 900 and something days. That should be more at the forefront of her as a personality.
That she was undefeated.
I don't know if maybe I just hadn't been listening hard enough, but...
Well, that was 7 years ago, Mike. They're going to keep on bringing that up.
Every time they talk about Goldberg, they talk about the undefeated streak, don't they?
Well, yeah, you got a point. Yeah.
That's a big accomplishment. Just like, they talk about Undertaker at WrestleMania. Like, that's a legendary thing. That's probably the longest amount of time anybody's ever went without being defeated in the modern era.
No, in WWE, period. That's what they said on the broadcast. I don't know how truthful that is, but that's what they say. So.
What about Bruno, though?
Was he undefeated? What, did he wrestle? Well, yeah, he probably did wrestle every single week. I don't know. Maybe he had
I mean, unless he was.
DQs.
That's what I was about to say. Unless maybe he lost, but it was a non-title match or something.
Countouts, DQs, probably something like that. I don't know.
So, I don't know. I think it's worth mentioning. It makes her look like a bigger star. But that was my only slam for this one.
Yeah, I didn't really have any negative things to say. I thought it was a good package. Did her some well for the build up. But too little too late, man.
Yeah. On the topic of too little too late, Positive Ali. What is this gimmick? He was backstage with Rollins and they did some falderall garbage and his outfit was stupid and he's a goof. But what were they doing here?
You know, Micah, I just somebody's got to be enhancement talent, and it just happens to be Ali. So, what are you gonna do?
But he's on the show every week. I don't understand the gimmick. Like, it came out of nowhere, and he was just like, randomly to Dolph Ziggler, you've got to be more positive. And then nothing ever happened with that, not that I remember at least. And then he's just, I'm at a loss for words. I don't get it.
He's positive all the time. I don't know. He's kind of like a new age DDP. DDP did a similar gimmick in the early 2000s, and he was almost enhancement talent back then as well. So, I mean, what are you going to do?
I don't know. Give him a shrink gimmick instead. Make him like have the people have the wrestlers tell him their problems, and then he can be positive for them.
You want them to have backstage?
I mean, that
it's like that.
Well,
They just bring back Doc.
They had this. Hey, don't you besmirch the good name of great medical practice. Those segments were good.
Oh yeah. Wonder what he's doing now.
Let's see. A quick Google search may help us.
I think he was an actual actor too.
The funny thing about, since I've been playing WWE games recently, and you kind of have to spitball your own stuff sometimes when you're making teams and everything. Do you remember that portion of WWE where every team was named Team This?
You talking about like in the 90s?
No, like this was 2012 or 2013.
Oh,
Like there was
Team Rhodes Scholar, Team Hell No, Team
Friendship.
Oh man, they didn't go with that though.
No, yeah.
They didn't.
Well,
that was one of the options they could have went with.
Well, it stuck.
Did it?
Well,
hey man, you say what you want about that, but that got Daniel Bryan over to the mass audience.
It did. As stupid as it sounds. Apparently, he came back in 2018 to help Bayley and Sasha.
They did have a backstage segment, yeah.
Interesting.
It didn't have the same magic though.
Well, that's because it was like 8 years later, and just like WWE now, it doesn't have the same magic.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Never mind. Wait, I was gonna disagree with you, but yeah, I can't.
He has a Twitter, but he doesn't post on it very much, and yeah, I can't find much else for him.
We need him.
He is an actor, though.
Yeah, we need him back, man. We need he could just be like a backstage figure. Why not?
He could have mediated the KO Sami Zayn stuff.
Yeah, I would have been here for it.
Not sports entertained.
Yeah. Dr. Shelby needs to come back to a mainstream spotlight. And also Dario Cueto from Lucha Underground. My man was great in that authority figure role.
Oh, I thought you said Dabo Kato.
I don't know. Well, isn't he in NXT?
You would know way better than me.
I can't ask you. Yeah, man, Dario Cueto was good in his role in Lucha Underground. He was just an actor too.
See, I don't. Was he just like the owner guy?
Yeah, he was the owner, the promoter, and he was getting investigated by the FBI while the show was going on. So there's a lot of good stuff happening.
Wait, like in real life?
No. On the show, there was undercover.
Oh, okay.
There was undercover cops that was working on his roster.
Okay. I was about to say, like, dang, there's more to this Lucha Underground thing than I thought.
That's where I first saw Joey Ryan, was on Lucha Underground as an undercover FBI agent.
That's where I first saw Penta and Swerve.
Yeah, a lot of guys. Ricochet.
Yep, Prince Puma. Hey, Prince Puma is better than Ricochet any day in my book.
Santos Escobar. He was in Lucha Underground.
See, I don't remember. I only watched like the first season.
He was on it. It was King Queno.
Oh, okay. No, I do remember that now. That's him?
Yeah, it's him.
Oh, man. They could do more with him. Well, speaking of things that they could do more with, we have something here that they couldn't do anything more with. Ali versus Seth Rollins. It was a squash, and the promo after, I thought, was some of the better Seth stuff. It still wasn't just set the world on fire.
Oh, what?
I realize now when we were talking about... Oh, well, they just like the song. He's got the Jungle Boy effect.
I don't know, man. I'm starting to wonder. Maybe it's us.
I don't know. I realize now when we talked off camera that I thought you were talking about the backstage Rollins segment. The in-ring promo I did like. I kind of was on my phone while it was happening too because it was a Rollins segment.
Oh, he straight murdered Ali with that second curb stomp. Like, it was nasty. The first one too, he kicked him to sleep, and then he woke him up and kicked him again. And then Ali took a head first bump on the curb stomp. It looked gnarly.
Send him back to Superstars.
Main event.
Is that still a thing?
That was main event.
Oh, okay.
They still got main event. Superstars.
Wait, where does it air?
Peacock. And internationally.
Is it? Oh, that's funny because when we went to that Raw, remember, we came in during the middle of the main event.
Yeah. And Ali was on it.
He was, yeah, and Odyssey Jones.
Yeah, we missed that one.
Yeah. Well, anyways, moving on. Omos and Brock Lesnar were going to have their weigh in. Omos came out and he weighed in, and MVP started cutting a promo on how, running down all Brock's accolades, accomplishments, and, all the other great Brock things that he's done. And Omos weighed in. He was 410 pounds, I believe. And MVP basically hyped him up, saying, sure, you defeated The Undertaker at WrestleMania, and sure, you beat John Cena, but you can't pick Omos up. This is the Nigerian Giant, and good luck, pal. So, Brock Lesnar's music hits. He comes down to the ring in no hurry at all, like he was Bianca Belair. And he stalks, gets in the ring. They have a weird exchange, and I didn't love this. I know you liked it, and people online was, this is pro wrestling, but I don't know. It didn't click for me, and that's how this whole feud has been.
Well, Micah, did you want him to have a back and forth promo battle? What would have clicked?
I think that they should have came out and done the weigh-in, which I don't like weigh-in segments anyways. I think they're stupid, but if that's the direction they want to go, I'll stick with the weigh-in. Have them do that, and then have Brock try to pick him up, or have a brawl. MVP runs to outside or whatever. Brock tries to pick him up. He can't do it. Omos beats him up. And right before Omos is about to hit whatever his finisher is, I don't even know, Brock slides out of the ring. And he kind of has a shocked look on his face like, oh my God, I couldn't pick him up. What am I going to do
that's basically what
4 days?
But
Brock didn't try to pick him up.
he tried to bulldoze him.
He punched him a couple times in the corner, and then he went to pick up the weight and swing at him and almost big booted him. And then he slid out of the ring. They stared at each other for like 10 seconds, and then almost his music played.
Perfect. That's what it needed to be. We didn't need that much physicality. Leave that off.
Nothing's happened, though, in this entire feud. Nothing has happened.
That's good. Because the entire feud is just, oh my God, can Brock actually handle the big man? And we'll finally get to see it at WrestleMania. It did what it needed to be, man. It was just a tease. You don't need to give off the whole entire smorgasbord of what they can do right there on Raw, man. Get a little physicality. Save that for WrestleMania, the big stuff. That's Pro Wrestling 101, Micah. You don't give it away on Raw, man.
I know, but they didn't. Nothing about this feud has gotten me excited.
I'm actually pretty hyped for it. I want to see it. I'm morbidly curious as to how they're gonna pull this match off.
Well, I'm morbidly curious just because of the individuals involved. I'm just saying the feud itself has not done any favors for me, the viewer. If I wasn't already watching wrestling.
But then again, Micah, it's just two big guys that's going to have a power match at WrestleMania. I didn't expect it to be the promo battles between CM Punk and MJF. I didn't expect that on a weekly basis. I don't know, man. I think you wanted something entirely different out of this feud when what they did here made a lot of sense.
Well, I think it might be different if it was an outlier to the rest of the card, but when you already have a Rhea Charlotte feud that hasn't really been built great, you have the Bianca Asuka feud, which we were already talking about. The feud has been atrocious. I mean, it's like half the card has a decent build and the other half is like, oh yeah, this has got to happen. Even the Seth Logan stuff. I know you like it, and I guess maybe I'm the minority, but I don't... It sucked to me. I like the Usos stuff. I like the I like the Reigns Cody stuff, obviously, and the Dom Ray. Theory and Cena, I'm curious, but the one Cena promo sucked. I don't know. Some of these are just hit or miss for WrestleMania to me, and this show didn't help clean it up.
Micah, I know you dropped off and didn't watch a lot of wrestling for a while, at least WWE stuff. But as far as WrestleMania builds go, this is probably the best built WrestleMania show up and down the card since maybe 20. I don't even remember. They built up a lot of stuff for this show.
Maybe 30?
Okay, you have the Bryan stuff, but what else was on that card that was built up well?
Brock and Taker.
Did you like
was
that?
On there?
But did you like the build up? I don't remember. Remember anything happening except Brock getting his hand stabbed with a pin. That's the only thing I remember happening on the build up.
I remember being interested in the match itself because...
Okay, but like the build up, the feud. Bray and Cena had a pretty good build up, but other than that, the Shield had no match. if they did, it was like the little squash match with the New Age Outlaws and Kane. They had no build.
Yeah, it was like 3 minutes.
No build up. What up? The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. It was a battle royal, so no build up.
Well,
Yeah,
I guess you're right.
I don't know.
Well, maybe I'm just too critical then. I don't know. This segment didn't do it for me, at least.
Yeah.
What about 31 when Sting came back? What else is on that card?
Terrible, awful build up. The worst main event build up I can remember. 31.
Roman and Brock.
The go home segment. I'll never forget this. For their match at WrestleMania 31, Micah, I'm not kidding. It was a tug of war with the WWE title. That was the go home. They cut no promos. They had no physical altercation on the go home show. It was just them doing a tug of war with the WWE title. And that was supposed to get me hyped for WrestleMania.
Well, who won?
Well, Seth won.
Wait, no, not the match. The tug of war.
Oh.
Now I'm morbidly curious.
Well, it faded to black. What do you mean?
Oh, come on.
Faded to black. Yeah,
All right, we'll do one more. What about 31?
Yeah, that was the one.
This is when I had fully checked out. No, I meant 32.
Oh, Triple H and Roman, which didn't have a bad build-up, but just the crowd hated Roman. And then Chris Jericho and AJ Styles had a feud because, of course, every time somebody gets hot in a company, Chris Jericho has to have a feud with him. And, of course, he beat AJ Styles at his first WrestleMania.
Yep. Spot on.
3 months into his run, he lost to Chris Jericho at WrestleMania.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that happened. Shane had a very weird feud with Undertaker. Bro, that whole WrestleMania was just riddled with injuries. Like John Cena was hurt, Randy Orton was hurt. Who else was hurt? Seth was hurt. Like there was a lot of guys that couldn't go at that WrestleMania, and they had to rewrite a bunch of stuff. Shane and Undertaker had a very long Hell in a Cell match. That the build was confusing because Shane said that he was gonna reveal a secret about Vince if he won the match. And then he lost the match, and then we never got to hear what his secret was.
Wait, I thought the whole thing about that was like Taker would quit, basically.
No?
Like, I thought that was if Shane won, Taker couldn't wrestle at WrestleMania anymore or something.
Maybe they put that in at the end, but the whole build-up was Shane wanting to reveal something to Vince or to the world about Vince. And then he lost, and then everybody was mad because, like, dang, what? We never going to get to find out? And I believe if Shane won, he got control of Raw and SmackDown as well. But he lost, and everybody was mad. And then the next night on Raw, Micah, he gave the control of Raw and SmackDown to Shane anyways.
Oh, my God.
They just retconned everything from the night before. And then that's when then the brand split followed soon after because Stephanie got back in the picture and Vince just said, you know what? You're going to run SmackDown and you're going to run Raw. And, and then that's what happened. Brand split.
Maybe Shane was the whistleblower about this whole sexual misconduct thing about Vince.
He played the long con. He finally released it.
Yep. We could have known years ago. Triple H could have been in power years ago.
Oh, man. Yeah. What could have been?
But he had to slowly leak that out there.
Then we would have had Johnny Gargano as a 4-time WWE champion by now then, Micah.
Boy, he's colder than an igloo.
He's got a match on NXT.
Oh, yeah. Grayson Waller.
He's actually not bad.
Well, I'm not going to watch it, so you can tell me how it is.
I'll watch it.
All right, moving on. This is really all we got for the show, so, I mean, these sidebars couldn't be on a better show. This show is actually slow. The next couple of shows, oh boy. But following this, Cody was in the back and he cut a promo talking about Solo and Reigns and how basically Solo's not always cracked up to be. He's not ready. Did you have anything you want to talk about this segment, or
Nah,
we can move on?
move on.
Okay. Following that was the Bloodline Sopranos Hollywood commercial.
Oof.
Tell me you saw this.
Oh, yes, I definitely saw this one. This is my favorite one.
Yes, this was great. Every single thing about it, all the acting was done well. Roman and Paul were killing me, and then right at the end with Solo saying like, "No, you are a funny tribal chief." If you didn't watch this, go watch it. Go find it on YouTube. This is honestly probably one of the best Hollywood commercials they did, even out of the ones from like 2005.
Yeah, it was up there. It made me want to see Solo versus Roman. It made me want to see that more.
Well, there's always next year's WrestleMania. I've already plotted Roman's return to SummerSlam, but give me a couple weeks and maybe I can plot the one to WrestleMania.
I'm here. I'm listening.
Well, anyways, following that small little segment, they were in a package for Bianca, kind of similar how they did Asuka. I thought this was done well. Like I said, the only scoop I had was the same thing I had for the Asuka segment. If they had done this before, it probably would have helped. It's kind of too little too late.
Yeah.
But this did more for the feud to make me interested than anything else did.
Yeah. It was a good package.
Following that, boy, we're flying through these segments. Austin Theory.
Oh, God. Jesus. Go ahead.
This was weird.
Yeah. It gave me bad flashbacks of the PC era where we were in the Performance Center or the empty arenas. It felt like that. And I don't like that because I did not like that era at all.
See, I missed all of that. Like, I didn't come back in until 2021, and AEW was the first one I started watching again. And I really tuned in when they started having, like, some fans back in the Daily Center. Daly's Center, Daly's Place?
Same thing.
Oh, see, when Tony buys the WWE in a couple months, they can call it the Daily Center.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, anyways, what was that?
PC era, man. I can't go back and watch any of that stuff because it's just, I don't know, man. With no fans, it just kind of ruins the magic of professional wrestling. And it was a very depressing time to be a fan. I've watched every single WrestleMania ad nauseum, pretty much, especially the ones I grew up with the last 17 or 18. I can watch any of them like it isn't nothing. I can just put it on, have it on in the background. But I cannot bring myself to rewatch that WrestleMania that happened in the empty arena. It's sad.
This was a weird time, and I didn't even watch wrestling, so I can only imagine what that was like. I've seen clips, especially that one of Stone Cold where he's like, he says,
yeah,
he just says something to the crowd, and then he just sits there and waits.
But then Byron Saxton just yells.
Yeah.
That was funny. I'll give you that. But yeah, man, the Performance Center era they did not. I think AEW had a better aesthetic feel during the pandemic because they actually had people there at the start. Pretty much, they didn't have a lot of empty arena shows. Pretty much when the pandemic hit, they just put their entire roster in the first couple rows at Daly's Place, and it had a little bit of a feel of a crowd. But WWE, for like the first 3 or 4 months, there was nothing. There was no crowd, no sound, and it was weird during a lot of matches, especially matches like Edge versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania. That was like 45 minutes. It was a Falls Count Anywhere match, and it was just heavy breathing throughout the whole match, and it kind of bothered me. I can never go back and watch it. It probably wasn't a bad match, but the heavy breathing aspect bothers me. about that. I don't know, man. It's just a lot of weird stuff about the pandemic era that I can't go back and watch.
Well, I don't blame you at all, and especially I don't know. I can only imagine how many spots you could probably hear them calling out to.
Yeah. And bro, just imagine.
And that probably kills it.
Just imagine if you're my neighbor in my apartment. I put on that Randy Orton Edge match. It's just heavy breathing and banging. Like, bro, how do I explain that?
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't want to be your neighbor.
Yeah.
Anyways, so moving back to the Theory promo. So they had this trend in the show of doing these earlier today recap segments. There was like 8 of them, but this was one. And Theory was in front of an empty crowd. I almost said an empty promo. An empty crowd and
I felt
empty.
I felt
crowd, empty arena. Yeah.
Yeah, it works.
It just. Yeah, I don't blame you for feeling empty. It just was weird. It's off-putting. I didn't like it, and
it's like he was happy.
The promo wasn't bad, but why couldn't he have done it in front of the fans?
You think they were protecting him from the fans?
I mean, what are they gonna do? Say what to him like they have for the past couple months?
Yes. And they wanted to deliver the promo with no like sidebars and him getting flustered with the what chance. Maybe they were trying to protect him.
Then, okay, they could have just had a backstage segment.
Yeah, you could have did that, but maybe they wanted like the dramatic feel of it. You know, WWE likes dramatic stuff. It felt like he was like going through a monologue for like a high school play. Didn't they kind of feel like that?
Yeah, or it made me think like he was practicing before the show. That's what it made me think of.
Yeah. This was not his best at all.
No. And, yeah, you kind of recapped the whole thing, basically delving into the whole pandemic era.
Yeah.
Flashbacks it gave you. It wasn't for me.
No. And he said he doesn't do it for the fans. That's why they don't deserve to be here to see his promo. Okay. I like Theory, but all right, man. John Cena didn't do you any favors with this build-up, did he? He could have cut some promos from the set. That piece of garbage. Get Cena out of here. I've seen enough.
Well, you know what? I'm not. Well, we'll get to that. I was gonna say, what do you think Cena's gonna put him over? But
stay tuned.
We'll see.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So, anyways, let's get to some good stuff because all of that sucked. I hated the first 2 hours of Raw, and then they jam-packed all the good stuff in the last hour. So finally, we got some good food at the table. Dom and Damian Priest came out, and we had to fight through 18 commercial breaks and segments. But Dom came out there, and he cooked Rey Mysterio. I loved this segment. People on Twitter were like, does anybody really want to see Dom versus Rey? I want to see Dom versus Rey.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's probably not going to be a great match. It'll probably be a good match. But the lead up, the build up, the storyline to the match is great, man. I mean, what else can you say? It's probably the second best built up storyline. Easy for me to say. At WrestleMania. I mean, this is a story that's been built up for 26 years. Rey being a deadbeat dad, man. Dom finally showing some courage and standing up to his deadbeat dad. Which is something, I mean, we all wanted to hit our dad at some point, right, Micah?
Well, yeah, I guess. Doesn't your dad listen to the show?
Okay, shout out, Pops.
Oh, man. Anyways, so, yeah, I think it's especially cool when you think about the Rey Eddie custody of Dominic storyline that played out, almost 20 years ago now.
Oh, God.
And that all kind of comes back to this.
20 years.
What, that make you feel old?
Yeah, I remember that storyline like it was yesterday.
Don't look now, but AARP has sent something to you in your mailbox.
Oh, Lord. I have been getting a lot of those commercials when I watch YouTube.
Well, life insurance is on its way, pal. You better buckle up. A burial plot.
Oh,
You need a casket.
And Jungle Taker
You're gonna
be my pole.
Jungle Taker. Yeah, he'll slam you in there and then gaze sparingly as he questions whether he should shut your casket or not. Oh, anyways, Dominic cut a really good promo, and this build to me has been really good. They've done it well. They didn't touch, really. I mean, Dom would slap Ray, but Ray did not retaliate until last week's SmackDown.
It reminds me of the Undertaker Kane build up where Kane was goading Undertaker for weeks, months on end to hit him, and Undertaker refused to fight his brother. And then finally, Undertaker fought his brother at WrestleMania, which is, it's the pretty much the same storyline they're going with Dom and Ray.
Yeah, just minus the
dead parents,
serial murder of your parents.
Yeah, because they
well, dead parents could play in after WrestleMania.
Well, what's Jungle Boy doing?
Hey, I'm here. oh, well, you're here too.
Yeah, right here.
Anyways, so, man, where was I going?
Your scoops.
Dom cut a good promo. Yeah, the scoops. So I liked that he flipped the situation onto Ray, saying that he hit me and he was unprovoked and he embarrassed me in front of my family. So I thought that was a nice touch to this segment. And you're like, the kid's so stupid, but then it works to his cheap baby face or cheap heel persona.
Yeah.
And the last scoop that I had, I called it last week, the Eddie line. I'm just saying, he needs a lowrider on Saturday.
What's the over under that he has one? I think it's 90% sure that he'll have one.
I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I'd put the house on that he's got a lowrider.
Has to be. I wish Vicky could be there for it, though.
That would be cool.
You saw how she was dogging her character in AEW, saying she didn't get to do anything in 3 years of working there?
No, I didn't.
Yes.
But, well, I mean, shoot, everybody else is... Oh, good Lord. That's another 30 minutes that we could delve into. What'd she say about her character, though?
She said it was underutilized and she didn't get to evolve at any point during her run in AEW. And she's happy it's over, her tenure with AEW.
Well,
they gave her a check.
No disrespect, but she got shackled with Nyla Rose, and they haven't really done anything with her since the beginning. And wasn't she with Andrade for like a fart in the wind?
1 week, and then they changed again with Andrade. Because that's who introduced Andrade.
I'd rather have her than Jose the assistant.
They probably would have had the same trajectory, man. Like feud with Cody and then back to Rampage and sporadic appearances on Dynamite.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I always got a soft spot for Vicky because she got my boy Dolph over.
She did. And she got Edge a lot more heat after his days with Lita.
That's true. That was a weird love angle looking back like now, but man, as a kid, I was like, I was invested.
I was in a chokehold, man. I hated Edge.
Yep, and I hated Vicky, but like at the same time, you kind of feel bad for her because you're like, well, Eddie, but then you're like, oh God, I can't stand Vicky.
No, she's doing that. My man Eddie's been in the ground not even 2 years. That heartless. I almost said something. Yeah. How could she do that to Eddie? But yeah, man. Yeah, the whole Dom. This is probably Dom's best promo.
I agree.
When he switched up mid promo, that's one of my scoops to Spanish. I thought that was really really nice touch too, because it seemed like he was cutting into Ray in two different languages, and I don't know what he
Yeah,
said.
I wish.
It felt like I felt like he meant what he was saying. You know?
I was about to say that. I wish somebody could tell me what he said, but whatever he did say, it sounded like it meant something.
He was pissed in two languages. Um, and bro, I hate to say it, but I think Dom gets better heel heat from the crowd than Theory does at this point, doesn't he?
I think so. I think Theory gets go away heat a little bit, and I don't know if the Cena feud is helping that.
I hate that. But yeah, Dom, man, you gotta give it to him. What a year! What a difference a year makes. Because I watched the Bloodline whole like 2 hour recap that they had.
Recap.
Yeah, on the YouTube channel. I watched it with my sister today, and Dom was, I think it was a WrestleMania match he had last year, and she was like, "Who is that?" Like, that's Dominic Mysterio. I'm like, that's what Dominic looks like. He looks so different now. Like, yeah, he had a whole glow up. They put him in better gear and grew out his hair. My point is, Micah, he's come a long way since the clean cut baby face with no personality that feuded with Seth Rollins in the empty arena empty arena matches 2 or 3 years ago. He's come a long way.
Yeah, and I think he could still use some better in-ring gear. I don't like the jumpsuit stuff. Really on anybody. The only person I ever thought that could decently pull it off was Seth, but I don't really like that. But yeah, he's come a long way. The only thing I didn't have any slams for this is the only thing I'm worried about. Where does he go after this?
Well, you still got legs with Judgment Day.
I guess that's true. I wouldn't mind seeing maybe him and like Damian having a tag title run.
Yeah, I can see them feuding after uh, WrestleMania, Ray and Dom, because they do that. They got that pay-per-view coming up in Puerto Rico, so I'm sure they'll have a match.
Yeah. They'll probably do that thing Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy did. Remember, like Matt got the win at Mania, and everybody was kind of like, and then Jeff got his win back at Backlash, right?
Yeah, Matt did win. He won with a twist of fate on a chair, didn't he? At WrestleMania.
Yeah, twist of hate.
I thought he deserved it.
Oh, you piece of
Didn't he kill his dog in that storyline? Or was I imagining that?
I think he did. There was a bunch of stuff. That storyline was weird, kind of, because like there was real life Jeff Hardy stuff kind of going on around that time. Because didn't his house burn down in that storyline?
Yeah, they blamed it on Matt.
Not well. In real life, yeah, it burned down, but then they blamed it on Matt.
Yeah, he killed his dog, man. His dog was in the fire.
And that's where isn't there some like fire at the bottom of Lake Hardy or something like that?
You lost me.
Oh, maybe I have my lore mixed up. Isn't there something to do with the Hardy compound and?
Oh, you talking about the lake of? No, that's not what you're talking about. I know the lake of reincarnation, but
Maybe that's what. See that's what Matt could do to Jeff's dog.
oh man, he's gonna dig up the corpse of Jeff's dog to reincarnate.
It might be the past expiry date at this point. Anyways, we'll move to the next segment.
Undertaker's parents in there too. We're digging up people that burned alive, man.
Yeah. Well, kind of along the same lines. Paul Bearer. Well, no, he was cremated. Remember, CM Punk threw his ashes.
Yeah.
I rewatched that match the other day. It's like my WrestleMania tradition.
It holds up.
It's good. It's long. It's longer than I thought because I was sitting there watching it and I was like, I thought it was like a 15-minute match. It goes a little bit, but
no, man. Undertaker's entrance was 15 minutes. Shit.
God, yeah. Punk had a chip on his shoulder. You could tell.
Yeah, he was mad.
Still does. Anyways, Ray versus Priest. Did you write anything down for this one?
I just got a slam for Priest being. I wish he could have got more of a showcase, but whatever.
He should be on the show over Finn. I don't want to see Finn Balor on my TV.
But
like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just being honest.
But Micah, don't you want to see the demon? He paints his body. He's a demon.
I'm not excited for this match at all, unless they get rid of the milk crate cage.
They might, man. What is it? Why would it be red at WrestleMania? Isn't red just the? I don't know. It could be red. I don't know. They're probably just trying to sell toys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finn Balor.
But why is Damian being left out? Just because he's getting the Puerto Rico pay-per-view next month?
Probably, yeah. He'll probably get something marquee with Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know. I just the only thing that I guess I just hate is I do wish the Edge was still in control of this, because it made more sense for Edge to kind of pass the torch to Damian, and then you would have Rhea and Dom, which I know they weren't a part of it till later, but that whole thing makes more sense to me than Finn being it. And here we are now. The feud's still going on, and it sucks. And I think Finn had a promo on this show, and I didn't even write it down because I didn't care to watch it.
But
I'm over it.
But Micah, don't you want to see the Demon? He wrestled in Japan as the Demon. You don't want to see that?
Well, maybe he could go join his brothers in AEW.
Oh.
Because just like all their Japanese crap, I don't care.
I hope so, man. Get him up out of here. I think he's gonna beat. Never mind. I already just gave away one of my predictions.
So let's see. We got 2 things left. No, 3. So Sammy and Kevin Owens cut a promo in the back about their beatdown from the Usos on Friday. It was a good promo. I just didn't have any real, I guess, takeaways from this. I'm excited to see that match, and I hope it main events night 1. But at this point, they're not going to add anything to it. Nothing monumental is going to happen, I don't think, between now and then. So I'm just ready to get to the match. You know what I mean?
With the Usos and KO and Sammy? Yeah, probably not. But they're having a last stare down with Roman and Cody on Friday. So something could happen there with Sammy and KO. They might come out.
I'm interested in that Roman Cody thing just because, Roman hasn't even been here.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be good. Hopefully they save the best for last with their promos.
We'll see. I don't know. Cody's been cutting them.
Did you see that backstage segment where the whole roster was finding out they're in a battle royal? Did you see that?
I did, but I didn't write it down.
Bro, why are they just finding out they're in the battle royal from a spreadsheet backstage?
Well, it's the new policy because they're trying to get gambling done. They're trying to enact that rule where you don't know until the night of who's winning.
You know what it reminded me of? Because Boogs got so excited when he found out he was on the list. It reminded me of trying out for the basketball team on JV. And I didn't know I made the team until I read the note. It was posted up on the bulletin board.
Yeah, they'd have the school announcement the basketball team posting will be at 1:15 this afternoon.
Yes, it reminded me of
man.
Yeah, just a little shout out. If you haven't seen the WWE 24 on WrestleMania 38, it's very much worth a watch. So Boogs has a whole subplot in that 24 special, and it made me more of a fan of him.
I'm gonna have to watch it then because I hadn't seen it.
Yeah,
I started watching some of the legends and biographies and all that mess. I watched the Yokozuna one the other day.
Oh, how was that? I didn't see that one.
It was really good. It had some stuff from after he left WWE that I've never seen, and I mean, Yeah, it's kind of sad because Yoko got really big, and
Yeah.
a lot of them just kind of talk about, they didn't know what to do, and they did try and help, but like it's almost like he didn't want the help.
Yeah.
So it just sucks.
Yeah.
But not to put us on a sad note, but the WWE 24 you were talking about.
Yeah. That was on that's on Peacock. So yeah, if you get some time, man, check that one out. But yeah, Rick Boogs, he he's in that WWE 24, and he was in that backstage segment.
You're a fan
That
now.
it made me more of a fan. Yeah.
He's he's got something. He might be one of those. He might be like a Rikishi, where it just takes him a really long time to find it, but he's got something.
Yeah.
I can't put my finger on it.
Bro, I forgot that they made him the spokesman to like Old Spice before he even debuted on any like Raw or SmackDown.
What do
I
you
forgot
mean?
they did.
Like he was doing
Like he
ad
was,
spots?
yes, for Old Spice.
I mean, I can see it. The dude's got a crazy physique. He's jacked to the gills.
But it's just I don't remember like anybody getting a marquee spot like that before they even debuted. Like, he was doing a bunch of ads for Old Spice.
Well, I mean, hey, maybe. Hey, so everybody's got to have a job. Somebody's got to do the ad spots.
Hey, he was good at it, man. He was a funny guy. Funny guy.
All right. Well, our semi main event. It pains me.
Oh.
Gunther
Yeah.
versus Dolph Ziggler. And this segment will probably last longer than the match did. Gunther killed Dolph Ziggler, murdered him, slaughtered him in front of babies and children and mothers and wives and brothers and fathers, and the fall from grace has been quite tragic for Mr. Ziggler, and my 10-year-old heart just can't handle it.
Well, he took a heck of a butt whooping, Micah, right?
Well, he's always been good at that. I mean,
Bro, he
he
chopped his
sells like
soul
prime
out.
Shawn Michaels.
No, better than that, because he chopped his soul out of his body, and I feel bad for Mister
Nemeth.
Neiman. Yeah, felt bad for Ziggs over there. Jesus, not Walter, Gunther destroyed him, destroyed him. And I can't lie, man. I did laugh at a couple points in the match because I was just thinking, Micah's probably throwing furniture and punching holes in walls watching this.
It hurts. I don't know.
Bro, it's fine, man. He's cashing the checks. He's okay.
Yeah, but why does Dolph Ziggler have to be the butt of all the jokes?
He wants to do it. He could have left. He knew what he was signed up for when he signed that new contract. Bro, he's getting paid $700,000, $800,000 a year, probably more, just to take a few, shellackings. And he's the best in the business at taking them. Why not?
But
Pay me, pay me. What's that? Wasn't that Jobber Squad? Wasn't that their slogan?
yeah, how would you feel if the Miz was jobbing every week?
He do. He get beat up every week, man.
Yeah, but now he's the host of WrestleMania. Dolph can't even get a sniff of the card.
Well, if he was good on promos like Miz, he'd be the host of WrestleMania too.
Come on now.
I just
Don't
speak
act,
facts.
don't act like he ain't good on promos. It may have
I
took
like
him a while, but he's there.
Not like Miz. Still, man, we need jobbers on the roster. Why not Ziggler? What else is he gonna do?
Go to AEW. Yeah, I'll sum it up with this from Ibu of Wrestle Purist or Backup Hangman on Twitter, a fellow CM Punk enjoyer. Dolph Ziggler, 42, doesn't watch wrestling anymore, has zero remaining passion for the business, in a perpetual loop of start-stop pushes for 12 years, and going absolutely beast mode in a Raw main event in 2023. This was from like January, I think, when he fought Theory for the title or whatever. Always loved him as a performer and will always have a soft spot for him. And somebody commented, "It's okay, just be happy that he's healthy and he can collect a nice paycheck." And he commented, "I have zero issue with how Dolph Ziggler chooses to live his life," which I agree with. But to add in my own thoughts, it just sucks to see because he should have had a longer main event run, in my opinion.
Yeah, it did get cut short, but at this point, man, he's so far gone. Like, there's really nothing you can't light a fire under Dolph Ziggler and get him the same reactions that he got in 2013. It's done, man. It's over. It's over. So why not have him put over the younger guys at this point and just show up, maybe teach them a few things, be around the current guys, get paid millions of dollars, go do his comedy specials, and just stay with the biggest company in the world. You said go to AEW. Micah, for what? Did you see that quote from Zack Ryder that said, "I'm glad I didn't go to AEW because I would have just been stuck on Dark. I would have got forgotten about." That's what would happen to Dolph. You can say he would have been treated as a big deal maybe initially, but eventually they would have just stuck him where they stick Matt Hardy and Christian and Mark Henry and Big Show, all the other guys that they signed and didn't know what to do with, and then they forgot about them within a month or 2 months.
Oh, come on now. Christian just had a good pay-per-view match with Jungle Taker.
But he was the lackey for Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus for a whole year and a half. He was a manager. Come on, man. Stop it. Come on.
I mean, I think if he had actually left when his contract was it 2019 or 2020 when his contract was fixing to be up and they weren't going to re-sign, or not they weren't going to re-sign him, but he wasn't going to re-sign, and then he eventually did.
He's done that a bunch of times.
Well, they start rolling out the Brakes trucks, and then your opinion changes.
But
I
yeah,
just
man.
think if he had left then, it probably would have been a bigger deal. You're right. If he went there now, it probably wouldn't amount to much. But selfishly, I wish that he could go somewhere and be more.
He was always that second-tier superstar, man. He was never going to be treated as a big deal anywhere.
A B plus.
I mean, maybe I hate to say it, but he is the definition of B plus, man. He never was in that Bryan Danielson tier or CM Punk tier. He was always a rung below.
But we're spending a lot of time on Ziggler.
I know you love Dolph.
Well, okay. Let me ask you this: what sets him apart from Bryan Danielson? Like, what is the gap?
Okay, the in-ring gap is monstrous because Bryan Danielson's been the best wrestler on the planet before he got to WWE. Everybody was saying he was the best wrestler on the planet. Nobody has ever said that about Ziggler. Yeah, he has good matches, but he was never the best wrestler in the world.
I wouldn't say the gap is that far.
It's pretty far, man. I say it's like comparing Chris Benoit to, I don't know. I don't know why I picked Chris Benoit as an example. But regardless, man, I think Bryan Danielson's promo ability was head and shoulders above Ziggler's, and he had the crowd connection that Ziggler just never had. He can never get to that point. And you can say it's bad booking. Okay, Bryan had some horrendous booking in WWE at the start. He was a comedy tag team with Kane, for God's sake. He got jobbed to Sheamus in 28 seconds. Like, he He was in the Nexus, and they fired him a month in, and then he did nothing in the company for a whole year. Bad booking, bad booking, bad booking. But it didn't matter because he still got over. See, the cream always rises to the top, man. That's what Macho Man Randy Savage said. And it's true. Cream always rises to the top. No matter how bad your booking is, you can still get over.
What about Matt Cardona? Look at
He
him.
got over in the Indies. He got over in the Indies.
But okay, Dolph. If Dolph left, I think he would be the same way Cardona is. If he stuck to wrestling, he might just retire.
On the Indies?
No, I mean like if he left WWE, he might just like retire.
Oh, I thought you meant he'd be like treated as like Cardona on the Indies.
Yeah, I meant that too. I'm saying he would probably do one or the other.
I think he would continue wrestling. I don't think he hates the business. I think he likes being there.
Well, I mean, I agree, but I think he's got his comedy thing going. He may just about it.
Have you heard? Wait, no, hold on. Well, let's talk about this and then we'll move on. Have you heard his comedy stuff?
Is it good? No, I haven't.
It's fair. I mean, it's decent, I guess. I haven't seen some of his recent stuff. Does he still do comedy shows?
I'm pretty sure. I follow him and he like posts about, I'll be here tonight or whatever.
I have to check another one out, but yeah, man, Dolph Ziggler, 2023. Jobber to the stars. That's where it should be.
Moving on, finally, for our main event of Monday Night Recap. Cody Rhodes versus the undefeated Solo Sikoa. Solo. So, I didn't really write a whole lot down for this one either. So, I'm just going to kind of say my thoughts. And this is all just going to technically be a scoop because I enjoyed the match. And I thought it built well. Even my wife was like, this makes sense. This is why WWE is doing good things right now because it makes sense for Cody to fight Solo. And it makes sense for Solo to fight Cody because, Solo wants to weaken him for Roman. Cody wants to, obviously prove himself and knock out another member of the bloodline in advancement of WrestleMania. So maybe he won't have to deal with him as much later. So yeah, I thought good match, good, way to close up the Raw before Mania with your main event guy going over, and he was jawing at Heyman at the end too, which I thought that was a nice touch. So yeah, I thought for a lackluster Raw, this was a really good way to close it up.
Yeah, they got Sammy and KO out there as well. That was a nice touch.
Well, that's another reason they should main event night one, in my opinion.
They could still theoretically, right? They haven't announced the main event, have they?
They haven't announced it, no.
They haven't. They announced the opener, but I don't know, man. Maybe old Triple H is listening.
We'll see. I heard because of political reasons they were gonna do Charlotte and Rhea.
That I don't know. Well, maybe Triple H is just gonna listen to what the internet says because you remember everybody wanted Drew to come out to Broken Dreams and he made it happen.
That's true.
Maybe we'll see Sammy and KO main event WrestleMania. It's crazy to think about because they got their big break in PWG, Los Angeles area. And now they'll be main event, the biggest show of the year in the Los Angeles area.
Only time will tell. Did you have anything to close up Monday Night Raw?
I didn't write anything, but for the main event, but I thought it was an okay match. It made sense in the end how he beat Solo. Didn't really weaken Solo that much to take a loss to the number one contender to the WWE champion a week from WrestleMania. So I thought it was a pretty good go home show for WrestleMania, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to get that undefeatedness off of Solo without absolutely killing him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I agree. I thought, everything was tied up nice and neat with a bow on it. Your grade for Raw. We've been kind of skipping out on these, so I need to remember to do them. Your grade for Raw, what you got?
I go 7.1.
I go 5.5.
Okay.
I liked half of the show. I didn't like the other half, so 5.5 is generous.
Yeah.
Well, that was the Raw before WrestleMania, and before we get out of here, we're gonna go ahead and do our predictions on this show, and then we will follow back up in a couple days with our Dynamite and SmackDown review, and then WrestleMania review probably sometime in the middle of next week. We'll play it by ear because it's big weekend. But before we go any further, before we close up this show, WrestleMania predictions. I'm going to run down the card for Saturday first, in no particular order of who's opening or closing, and I'll let you start us off with all the matches. So, John Cena versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship. Who you got?
I think Theory has to win, right?
I think
Theory.
so, but I wouldn't. If
Bro,
if Cena went over, I would be like, yep, okay.
but I don't think he's booked for any shows going forward, so I would assume this is it. Because wouldn't they announce that he was going to be there for Raw? If he was going to be there for Raw?
It's probably sold out anyways, I would imagine. I don't think a Cena appearance would boost ticket sales. It's the Raw after Mania.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I guess you're right. But them putting it on as the opener makes me think that Cena's just going to get up in there and he's getting the heck out of town as soon as it's over. So I think Theory's going over and a very anticlimactic match.
I agree. You took everything basically out of my brain. I think Theory's going to go over, and I think this match is going to be better on paper than it will end up being because John Cena's a legend, but he ain't who he used to be.
And I think that's on purpose too because he has movies, so he doesn't really do a lot of risk in the ring at this point.
Yeah, because I remember Rock tore something, and it kind of jacked up his schedule following that last WrestleMania that he did. Not with Roman, but with Cena.
Just look at what he did on SmackDown. John Cena did for that tag match. He did just 4 moves, and that was it.
Well, I mean, he's only got 5.
Well, he could have took a bump. I mean.
All right, so what could be the main event, but we're not 100% sure, for the SmackDown Women's Championship, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley.
I got Rhea.
It's got to be Rhea, right?
Yeah, Rhea wins. Because she's lost. I don't think she's ever beaten Charlotte one-on-one.
Yeah.
They've had
I don't
two.
think so.
They've had 2 PLE matches, and Charlotte's beat her at both. So, yeah, I got Rhea winning. And very strange because it feels like they're booking Rhea as the babyface here. And I don't know if I want Rhea to leave the Judgment Day to be a babyface.
I think once they get out of this, Rhea will go back leaning more heel, and Charlotte will go back to also leaning more heel. I think the Charlotte babyface experiment has not worked because she cannot cut a babyface promo. That was proven last week.
Yeah. Agreed.
We didn't get to it, but it sucked.
It was bad. It was a good heel promo, but I don't know if that's what they were going for.
Yeah, she swapped it in the middle because she started getting booed, and she was like, "You people boo me," and I was like, "Okay, now this is a heel promo, and now I don't know how to feel."
Yeah, that's what I had wrote down.
So our other potential main event for night one, the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Tag Team titles.
If they give these guys like 25, 30 minutes, they could have match of the weekend, like all across the board.
Yeah, I could see it. The Usos are the same as Charlotte. Like, when they want to go, they will. If it's just TV, the Usos aren't going to do anything crazy. But a SummerSlam, a Mania, a big PLE match, the Usos prove why they're one of the top tag teams in the world. And obviously, Sami and Kevin Owens can go. Plus, the story built up behind it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, personally, I think Sami and KO walk out with the belts. But yeah, I could see it being match of the weekend. We'll see.
Yeah. Sami and KO dethrone the Usos, the longest reigning tag team champions of all time. They dethroned them at WrestleMania.
Yep. Becky Lynch and Lita and Trish Stratus versus Damage Control.
Bro, I've been seeing some stuff online. I don't know how valid it is, but I've been hearing some rumblings about Trish maybe turning heel in this match and setting up a match at SummerSlam with Becky versus Trish. I've been hearing that floating around. I don't know.
I wouldn't hate it. We'll see. I personally would pick Becky, Lita, and Trish.
I think Bailey goes over.
Our first difference of opinions.
I think Bailey goes over because of Trish interference.
We'll see. We'll see if you have my mystic powers that I've suddenly gained where I can predict things to be right. All right. Seth freaking Franklin Rollins versus Logan Paul.
Oof. I've been hearing Logan Paul, his contract with the WWE is up at WrestleMania, so I think this is it for him, at least for now. And Seth goes over, which he hasn't won a PLE in about 8-9 months. What was his last win on PLE?
I don't know, because he didn't beat Cody.
No, he lost to Riddle. Never mind. Oh, wait a minute. He beat Riddle at the first PLE they had, right?
Like SummerSlam.
No, remember they got bumped from SummerSlam.
Oh, yeah. Was it Hell in a Cell?
I think it was Clash.
That
it was
sounds
Clash.
right, yeah.
And they had a rematch at Extreme Rules, and Riddle won.
Yep. So, we both
Seth.
going Seth. I think for the same reason, too. I don't know if Logan's coming back. I don't think they're going to take that risk.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio.
I'll go Rey.
Interesting. I'm going to go Dom because I think they're going to have a blow-off match at Backlash and Rey will eventually go over. But I think Dom will win. I could easily be wrong, though, because Rey's going to get inducted in the Hall of Fame.
I could see Rey winning and then Dom just beating him down afterwards.
That's true. I don't know. That one's a real toss-up. Like, most of these, I'm like, I think I know. I honestly, either or could win, and it would make sense.
Yeah.
And for the final match on Saturday, the WrestleMania Showcase match, Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders.
I think the Sami and KO are going to need some tag teams to feud with afterwards. And so that's why I think the Viking Raiders are winning this match.
I'm going to say Street Profits just because I really don't care, though. I definitely could see the Viking Raiders winning because of that.
Yeah.
All right, so Sunday, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya and Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green.
I'll go with Chelsea and Sonya.
Really? I'm gonna say Ronda and Shayna.
Bro, Chelsea ain't won nothing since she got back, has she?
No. And remember, she got booted from the Rumble in like 2.5 seconds.
Well, maybe they're gonna do something for her at WrestleMania. They do stuff like that, man. Remember,
Yeah,
I told you Kurt Hawkins he beat his first win came at WrestleMania for the tag championship.
that's true. I could see that, but I don't know. I think just the name value of Ronda, I think they're going to put her over, even though she ain't going to deserve it. That match is probably going to stink, though.
Can she do much? Doesn't she have a fractured arm?
Does she?
I think that's why she hasn't been competing. She had a sling on her arm last couple weeks.
That's crazy because I've been skipping all of her segments.
Yeah, there you have it.
Brock Lesnar versus Omos.
I got Omos winning, beating Lesnar.
I think Omos is going to win too because I think Brock's done. Potentially. There's rumors floating that he's done after this.
Yeah, I can see him being done for a little while, but I don't think he's done forever. Like somebody like Goldberg, I think he's done for real. But yeah, Brock's gonna be gone for a good little minute after this, and why not give the rub to Omos on the way out? Who cares?
Brock
We'll
don't
get,
get it.
hopefully Brock does the F5 at least though, and MVP gets involved or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Hell in a Cell. Edge versus Finn Balor.
This might be the longest match on the card, counting entrances as well, because Finn Balor got the demon entrance, and I'm sure Edge is gonna do the whole brood entrance. Yeah, he's gonna do that, and then we'll have a 35-minute Hell in a Cell match.
I'm going to say Edge because I think this is going to be Edge's last Mania.
Yeah, you might be right. Part of me thinks Finn Balor's gonna win because maybe Edge wants to do the honors on his way out.
Plus, Edge has won a lot in this feud. That's the other thing that makes me wonder. But that one's also a toss-up, so it could go either way for me.
He won the last pay-per-view match they had.
Yeah, the Rumble.
Yeah, he won that one. Finn won the I Quit match and at Extreme Rules. So yeah, I don't know, man. This could go either way too.
Yep. For the Intercontinental Championship, Gunther versus Drew versus Sheamus.
I got Drew.
Really?
Yeah, I got Drew.
I got Gunther. I think they're going to keep it on him until he beats Honky Tonk Man's record.
Really?
I just got a feeling. I don't because Honky Tonk Man is so outdated, I guess, and Triple H is kind of a big belt guy, and honestly, to be the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion is the Honky Tonk Man, really? So if you could get a modern guy in there, and apparently they're really big on Gunther, so I don't know, because then you could do like we were talking about with Asuka earlier. He is the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. That's taken in a lot of, think about all the legends and Hall of Famers that have held that belt. So,
but at this point though, Micah, you got to think, man. What baby faces is he gonna feud with at the WrestleMania for the title that he hasn't feuded with already?
Seth.
Seth's on Raw.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
When are they doing the draft?
There's no concrete date. There's rumors that could be after WrestleMania, but nobody knows for sure. Drew, on the other hand, if he wins the title, he could face like a LA Knight or Bray Wyatt if he comes back, or there's a lot of babyfaces he could go up. Not babyfaces, heels he could go up against on SmackDown. And plus, Drew never got the big win at Clash. He got nothing.
That is true.
And they got the King of the Ring coming up in Saudi Arabia next month. So I can see Gunther winning that, the King of the Ring, and having something set up for SummerSlam with Cody or something. I can see that happening.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know. That one's a toss up. Like I see my point personally, but also your point about doing King of the Ring makes a lot of sense.
It's up in the air because then again, Sheamus could win. He'd be
Yeah,
uh, what's that called? The Triple Crown?
yeah.
Is that what they call it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Grand Slam, not Triple Crown.
Oh, is it? I thought
Grand Slam
there is a
champion.
triple crown. There's a triple crown too, isn't there?
Maybe I don't know, but the Grand Slam stuff, he'd be going for it if he won the IC title.
Yeah. For the Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair versus Asuka.
We got Bianca.
I think they're gonna put Asuka over. I think Bianca's time is up.
We've been disagreeing a lot throughout this
Yeah.
card.
I did not expect this.
Okay.
And for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship match, the main event of WrestleMania, Roman Reigns versus the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. I think we both know who our pick is for this one, right?
Yeah.
It's Cody or nothing.
Has to be. And we have to get a hologram of Dusty Rhodes
Yeah.
when his entrance plays.
Or that video that I sent you on TikTok earlier where it was like
The mashup.
yeah, the mashed up of themes. That'll be great.
Yeah. It's gonna happen. Cody's gonna finish the story. Main event, WrestleMania, Hollywood, where dreams are made of, Tinseltown. And we'll get the storybook ending with Sammy, Kevin Owens, Cody all celebrating in the ring
Yep.
with the titles. Be a good scene.
And the bloodline will officially be over.
The last stand of the bloodline.
And then where they go from there, I don't know, but that remains to be seen. But I can tell you where we'll go from here. We'll be back later this week with an episode of our Dynamite and SmackDown review. And then we'll follow that up with our WrestleMania review. And then we'll follow that up with another jam-packed edition of the Scoop Slam podcast reviewing Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown all on the same episode. Then we'll be back to our regular schedule. So stick with us. I think it's going to be a fun week of wrestling. A lot of wrestling to watch.
Are we reviewing Hall of Fame as well?
Oh, geez. I guess we'll watch it and just throw in, our takeaways. Probably not like really in depth, but we'll talk about it at least.
All right.
So it'll be a fun week of wrestling. We hope that you join us. Make sure to follow us on the social medias. Scoop Slam Podcast at Scoop Slam Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. We've been making some videos, short clips of the podcast, as well as updates anytime we upload. So to get all your information about us, make sure to follow us there. And thank you guys for listening. Hope to see you on the next episode, and enjoy WrestleMania weekend.